That's the name of that band.
Okay, hey everyone, this is our live show for Thursday, January 12th. We got a modest NBA card and then 50 college basketball games, Mike Brenner, which I only had time to look at about 5 or 6 of them, but I did look at them, and the NBA had only 4 overnight lines, and I looked at all 4 of those.
Yeah.
And of course, we got NFL coming up this weekend.
Saturday.
So that's what we're doing right now. And let's see, in the NBA, well, yeah, last night the Cavs got popped on their so-called bounce back spot.
Yeah, they got pounded.
Yes, they did.
I read this morning they're already thinking about maybe changing up this roster again. Even though Corver came on, he hasn't hit the broadside of a barn, and not to put it all on his shoulders, but something's wrong there, and I take responsibility for my part. And because they damn sure bit me in the ass.
And the line did get bet up, so there was a lot of money that agreed with you. One thing we got right was we were scratching our heads saying, like, are the Knicks good enough to be a road favorite against anyone? And we said, doesn't seem that way. And, of course, they did wind up losing outright to the Sixers, although it was close. And now, once again, the Knicks are a favorite. This time they're at home, but against a seemingly better team, Chicago. Butler's out, sure. But
out.
Yeah, sure. But still, it's still the Knicks. They're still a favorite, and they're still on a back-to-back. So I don't know. Knicks -3. Then let's see, what else do we got? Golden State was now lost 6 in a row ATS and 8 out of their last 9 ATS. So they're still getting wins, but definitely not covering. And they're going up against Detroit. And
Klay Thompson is back in the lineup.
Klay Thompson's back. Yep. And then we got the Spurs, who are coming off a loss, and the Lakers, a scrappy team. The Spurs a big favorite, and the Spurs coming off a loss. The Spurs have covered a bunch of, I think they've covered 7 of 9 or something like that, but the Spurs are definitely rolling ATS. And that's what we got in the NBA. Mike Brenner, you want to give any comments before we move on to college basketball?
Well, yeah, I think the Knicks, there's a lot of drama behind that because Derrick Rose is going to be facing his old team. And, of course, last week he went AWOL. There's just so much drama there. A lot of pressure on Hornacek. A lot of pressure on the players there, and I think Porzingis is wondering what the hell he got himself into, But I think if there's ever a spot for them to have to man up and do it, I think they got to do it tonight against a squad that's going to be without Butler and Miratek, and that's 2 key ingredients for me. And Dwayne Wade, he's getting older, he's coming off of a rest night, but how much can you do? I think you might see the Knicks blow up early because they have to. Again, we'll see. I'm going to put it out in the NBA show, so don't miss that. All
right. Oh yeah, and we also have one of those Mexico NBA games, Phoenix Dallas and Phoenix. Yeah, they also played recently, and Phoenix beat them in a relatively modest scoring game. So maybe it's some kind of a
terrible team
revenge situation for Dallas. I don't know. The line has moved slightly in Dallas's favor, and I actually took a shot with the over 202, and that one has gotten bet up. So I think that's
they might just be throwing the ball up Mexico, trying to put on a show, And Nowitzki, he had played there in preseason, and he said, well, this is different now, and I'm excited to be back there. But there's not a lot of excitement on anything to do with the Dallas Mavericks right now. And Phoenix, you better look out because that Tyson Chandler still holds a grudge against Dallas, and every time he plays him, he wants to put up 20 boards. He'll probably do it.
And then just the question, Golden State, are they ever going to reverse this, because they're not really losing, they're just overvalued by the market, and is that the case again tonight? Hard to say. I mean, Detroit obviously is a notch below, but still a competitive team, and they've got a bad record ATS on the road on the year overall, but that was because they started off terribly, and then after that start they were still 50-50 on the road recently ATS. So I don't know.
Golden State, Pete, they're just normal. They're a bottom line, a regular team, and it's nothing. When you put those kind of heroes on one team, something's got to give somewhere. I'm hearing some mix here and there that maybe that Curry is thinking, you know what, with Durant, the shot selection is different. I can't find my groove. So there's some things underneath, but I think they're all professional enough to corral it in. They don't give a shit about ATS. They don't give a shit about a gambler, so they're just trying to figure out their stuff. That's a hell of a lot of points. I think the best way to fade Golden State right now is go against them on a 3-team teaser and just stack up those points. Because, like you said, 7 in a row or 6 in a row they haven't covered?
I think they've lost 6 in a row and 8 out of 9 ATS. So, All right. So, anything else you want to add before we move on to
interesting New Orleans and Brooklyn? What's going on?
I didn't look at that
one. He's got a hip injury he's dealing with, and that's nothing to play with. So. There's a team that's either got to, make a push or sell the farm. Brooklyn, they're already out of it. So, I don't know. I was wondering what your thoughts were.
There was an overnight line on that one. Did not have time to
All right, let's roll into some college then.
All right. Question about, it's not a question, but how about Creighton last night?
Oh, yeah. And Jeff from BMOCWins.com pointed that out to us in the show that he thought that Creighton might have a big edge there. And after his, 15-second analysis, I was completely sold on it, and we saw why. Yeah,
I jumped on the half. Yeah. I went 3-2 in college, had a respectable night. But how about damn South Carolina getting it done?
Yes, that was a great call. That was a great call because that was on the road against Tennessee, not an obvious play there, but that was very, very, very great. Just team analysis, talent analysis there, Mike Brenner.
I wanted to add this real quick for NBA because I do those power picks, and my power pick last night was OKC first quarter -1, and they were up by 7 or 8, so it was a nice cash ticket.
And in our odds couple show, you had them on the first half, which turned out to be a great call.
Yeah, and
I had them. I had that game on the over, which turned out to be another loser for me. And let's see, we got college basketball, a lot of kind of interesting stuff tonight. Let's see. We got the marquee matchup, SMU Cincinnati. That line hasn't moved much. We discussed that with Joe Gabassi yesterday. Cincinnati, obviously a quality team, could get a double-digit win. But my first thought is probably take the points to SMU at 6, right? You can easily see it going down to the wire. It's a low total. Yeah. So it should be a low-scoring, closer game. And then that Iowa-Purdue game, we also analyzed that with Joe Gabassi. That the very, very early opening line on that was a 7. Market wide, it opened at 6, and now it's down to 5. So we have money coming in on Iowa.
Maybe Iowa's turning that corner, Pete. I don't know, but Purdue sure impressed me last week. I think that team is focused. This could be a trap game. I could see them going in there and getting this outright win and covering.
Yeah, well, several games ago, this is the second time they met this year. Several games ago, they played in Purdue, and Purdue absolutely blew them out by 25 points. So that would explain the big road favorite line. But, in tiny sample sizes this year so far, Purdue has been bad ATS on the road, and Iowa's been good ATS at home. So,
Another one I like at St. Mary's, Portland. I think they might blow this team out by 20 or 30 points. And I may be wrong, but I think they're going to come out on fire. They're healthy and they're in a groove. I think they're going to get her done.
Pete. Yeah, I didn't have time to look at that game yet.
Tell us about UCLA.
Ooh, there it is. Stanford. UCLA, Colorado.
Colorado. That game did not have time to look at. Mike Brenner, do you have anything to say about that one?
Well, I know the line went down a little bit, if I'm correct. And
Colorado as a home dog, sort of a classic home dog.
They're going to be up
the line
for this
moves
game
a little bit, and you're thinking, is that line movement significant or not? Could be.
Yeah, and this comes down to coaching. So if Steve Alford has his crew ready to go on the road up there in the Mile High, you got to remember now that's going to be a different atmosphere for them. That could be a trap game also.
Yeah, I would be. Based
Oof.
on the line move in the situation, I'd be leaning Colorado for now, for sure.
Another one I love is Notre Dame at Miami. Baby.
Oh yeah,
that's going to be.
Well, Notre Dame in general is a very, very impressive team. So I would say, just in general, look to bet on them blindly over the next, at least 4 weeks or so, and then we'll see how
they got
do.
3 juniors and 2 seniors, and they're starting 5. Mike Bray has really done a good job of letting them all feel like they're just major contributors. Miami is young. They're good, but they're young. They make a lot of mental mistakes, and I think they rest on their laurels when they get it home. So check out the NCAA basketball show with Pistol Pete and I today, because I got some picks on those games.
All right, that line has moved, though. It's up to 2.5 to 3.5, and Notre Dame is just a very efficient team. I mean, maybe they're not elite. Maybe they might. There might be times when they, maybe get blown out by the elite talent of Kentucky or something like that. But in general, they're a team that has a lot of efficiency numbers that I'm liking.
They're turning some heads. They're overachieving according to what all the writers and everything this year had them, not slated to be in the top 25, and by God, they're number 20 right now.
Then another one that has me scratching my head is Georgia Tech. I mean, it was only 3 games ago that Georgia Tech beat UNC outright by double digits. I mean, obviously,
then they got shellacked by 50.
Sure. They're not going to do that every game. There's going to be games where they get blown out by elite teams, games they don't look great, but
a lot of points. 13.
So 9.5, but still. And who is Clemson? Clemson's a good team, but I don't know. Is 9.5 justified?
And Georgia Tech's at home.
Yeah, so you got me They got me scratching my head on that one. I'm thinking it might be one of those lines that is a little bit obviously off. Line doesn't make sense to me.
I think it's what Georgia Tech team's going to show up. The one that beat UNC, was it? They beat
UNC. Outright? Yeah, beat them outright as a big double-digit home underdog. Yeah, sorry.
Let them know about LA Tech. We got a lot of questions.
I didn't have time to. Well, I had the time, just wasn't giving it.
That's type of school right there.
When I crunch this game in a couple hours, I'll have probably some pretty solid opinions.
Yeah,
but
we're doing a breakdown today with Big Man too.
But I have just not had time to crunch that. Have not had time to crunch that one. Again, in a couple hours, I will have an opinion on it.
Now, the Gonzaga one we touched on yesterday with Joe. Too.
And that line has gone down at the very early opening line. Again, 22. The market-wide line was 21, and now it's down to a 20.5. As the line go, I mean, when we talked about that one with Joe Gavassi, we all sort of agreed that LMU at plus 23 because Gonzaga has St. Mary's coming up.
Sure, they're not going to want to pound this team.
Yeah,
they're going to take the
my sense in this one might, or the under at 143 might be worth a shot. As the line goes down, the value of Loyola Marymount obviously gets lower and lower, but now it's 20.5. Look ahead spot for Gonzaga. Gonzaga's been awesome ATS this year, but I don't know. I'm not going to bet LMU if I was going to bet this game, which I might, which I probably will. I would take a shot with the under at 143 maybe, but yeah.
Hey, Pete, how about Arizona State? Any in-state rival, that's a hell of a lot of points to give, no matter how bad Arizona State is. That's a lot of points.
Absolutely. I did not have time to break that one down, but
that game.
16, 15.5. That's
a lot.
On the other hand, Arizona State. Yeah. And Arizona State was a team. They played someone recently that I picked, and I was right, and I forgot who that was. But there was
I can't believe you forgot that.
Yeah,
holy cow!
No, Arizona State is a team that does have something to them. I remember Ian Cameron said he didn't like them, but I think that they're a team that can have some life in spots and play over their heads a little bit in spots, and this might, as you said, this might be one of them. So
you're Twitter follower. Oh, by the way, I got to put you on blast today. A couple Twitter guys are like, Pete's not answering they're not accepting my.
I do, but I accept. The problem is that I guess the most recent requests are like first in line, so I just check those.
Well, you're gonna have to spend some time. I'm catching heat for it.
Okay, I'll get on that.
One of them wanted to know what your thoughts were on, if you can scroll down. They want, and I told him you might not have had time to look at it. It was a total in the Stanford, whoever Stanford was playing.
Oh, I haven't had time.
Washington State.
Yeah, I haven't had time to look at any of the totals.
Okay,
I have not had time to look at any of the totals. 50 games tonight, but guys
backing you up, Pete, saying that you were tweeting last night.
Ooh. I did. I had one great call, which I knew was a great. I had one great call. What would you say?
I said I wasn't sure you even remember.
I had one great call, which I knew was a great call, which on Seton all second half. But then I got a little bit excited because I knew that one was a good call, and then I tweeted out a bunch of second half totals that were losers. Although they were those kinds of losers that were looking good most of the way, and then the shenanigans late in college basketball. I had the under in the Wichita State game and the Louisville game second half.
Martin was a question.
Drew Martin.
Southern Miss, ODU.
Oh, I've not had time to look at that one. But,
check out the show later because he'll have that one broken down.
I mean, that's just one of those. Obviously, Southern Miss is horrible, but it's one of those games with a super low total and a super high spread, and that's a game where when I do have time to break it down, I probably will decide that it's going to be a pass because, obviously Southern Miss is horrible.
Old Dominion's cashed some first halves for me, but this year they've been a little too inconsistent at home on the halves, and I'm off of that one.
All right, Northern Kentucky -4.5.
Oh, I've not had time to crunch any.
Northwestern -6.5.
Have not had time. No, I mentioned all the games that.
What do we like tonight, Pete? What do you got?
I would say, let me see. If I had to give a pick in college or NBA. As of right now,
Clemson one.
Yeah, exactly. It might be
Georgia Tech
sucker play. I'm gonna have to look into that, a little bit more to find out why the line is where it is. But I'm not aware of any entries as yet on Georgia Tech. That would explain partially the line. But
I'm gonna dig into
as of right now, I definitely would be leaning Georgia Tech +9.5. And
Ohio State, Wisconsin's another one that could be.
Ohio State, Wisconsin. Yeah, I mean, the thing about Ohio State is that they're getting, at some point, teams like these, when they start losing conference games, game in and game out, at some point they start to get hyper-focused and being all right, now we have to turn this around. Yeah. And this happened recently. That happened to, oh my God, there was a perfect example of that.
Perfect.
Recently, it slipped my mind.
Was it college?
I think so. It was just a bad team that.
It's going to eat your lunch. And
then it was a bad team, but so that probably will happen to Ohio State.
And Ohio State's too well coached. All right, Amada's not going to let that team just drift off into nowhere land. They're going to get up for this game.
And Wisconsin, of course, off a loss. The problem is that Wisconsin is a team that has usually a very strong home court edge.
Yeah, so and they got a deeper bench as well. But so Wisconsin might be. Pissed off too after a loss.
That one is a pass for me, but I'll definitely be looking for spots to play on Ohio State, especially if they lose this one ATS as well. They're a team. They might wind up being at some point like a home dog to an elite team, and then come out with an outright win.
What happened to that Michigan Indiana game last night?
You mean the Michigan Illinois game?
Illinois,
In that game we said it was one of these games. We were sitting here, we were like, now why should Michigan be a road favorite over Illinois? It doesn't really make sense. Maybe there's something we're not seeing. And Illinois blew them out. Yeah, we were totally right. Illinois was at home, a 3-point dog and that one I did bet.
Blew them out.
Yeah, and I also had the over on that one, although I realized that one much closer to tip off. But and then SMU and Cincinnati is it's a tricky one, but I think that in this case I would go with SMU. I don't think that's going to be like a Baylor West Virginia game. So I would lean SMU. I would lean
USC and Utah. That's an interesting game, and I know you haven't had time to break it down, but that is going to be a really good game. Utah, I think, is going to be ready for this. USC, they're not used to having this ranking on a regular basis like they've been getting. So I'm anxious to see how they handle that on the road.
UNC Wilmington.
Oh, definitely did not have time to look at that. Yeah, no way. I mean, there's 50 games on the overnight card, and when it gets later in the week, I like earlier in the week, I can do the 4 hours, 5 hours of sleep at night, but then the Wednesday to Thursday card, I wind up just going home and then doing the NBA, looking at some of the big college games, and then going to sleep. And then I'm like, well, if I wake up at 4 o'clock, I'll crunch some more college. And if I wake up at 8 o'clock, just head into work. So
we had a blast on that radio show yesterday with David B. That was hilarious. Oh my God!
All right, so
well, I think that's about it for college, and then
two more things. What do you guys think about the Chargers going to LA?
Yep, I heard that's a done deal too.
I heard the same.
I think it's no big deal. I'm not real enthused about it. I'm not excited about it.
It's kind of a weak move, to be honest.
Wait, so the Rams are going to be 2 LA teams?
They're going to be in the same stadium.
They're going to share a stadium like the Giants and the freaking Jets. I mean, come on. It's just it's 2017.
Crunch that game.
And I mean, the thing is that LA isn't really as football towns go. They're not really like a huge football town.
OJ's gone, and the Rams from years back.
I'm just saying, if you put a second football team in Green Bay, you could probably get away with that. But LA, I mean, the Rams themselves can barely.
Now you got the Niners.
That'll be an interesting
California dream is what that's all about.
That might be a situation where they're getting home points and they have no home field advantage at all, like Tennessee or something like that.
Hey, listen, I got to add something home. We're talking NFL here. I am even more pumped up about this Atlanta game. Dan Quinn, his team is literally rallied around saying this guy wants this game more than anything. This is his old team. He went to 2 Super Bowls. It's his second year in Atlanta. He cannot wait for that team to walk into the dome. Matty Ice is going to put it on his shoulders. I'm telling you, they're going to beat this team up and down.
Yeah, I mean, the line is now up to 4.5 or 5. So you've gotten, the market has definitely agreed with you early. I believe you took it on the Monday show at 3.5, or not 3, but 3.5.
3.5. I'm telling you, Pete, I like it. I think they're going to put it on them because it wasn't 2 weeks ago. Seattle was struggling against 49ers. Kaepernick was having his way. Atlanta's rested. Sit there. I'm telling you, they're pumped up and ready. Wilson and fellas, it's time to go. Season's over, man.
Yeah, I mean, Seattle has been vulnerable. I mean, their defensive vulnerability was against the pass, and that could be it's just
you got a hot quarterback coming in, buddy.
Yeah, so maybe I was even thinking even though Seattle's involved, maybe a shot with the over because Russell Wilson is healthier now, and especially if Atlanta puts up a couple of quick touchdowns or whatever, then Seattle starts passing. So I don't know. 51 is a bit of a high total with Seattle involved, but they've had some games where they went to that number this year anyway.
They scored 30. I mean, last week 30-something they scored.
And earlier this year they met in Seattle. And that game went to I think 58. Right, it was 30-28. So
you're right. Wilson's got over 3,400 passing yards this year. Yeah, so he's not afraid to throw that rock instead of just running it.
So the over might be worth a shot there. My totals lean so far are the overs in both Saturday games and the unders in both Sunday games. Wow, look at that one Sunday game down to 43.5 at places. In our show, I gave it at 45.5, and I bet it at 46.5 as soon as it opened. We'll see. We'll see. And then Mike Brenner, another one you gave on the Monday show, you gave Pittsburgh at +3, minus 125. That was a Chris number. Now it's solidly down to 1.5 or 1 market wide. So clearly, I guess that was just the line went up because of the reports of Roethlisberger. You made a smart move to grab Pittsburgh, and now the line's coming back down. But I don't know. KC is a tough, and like I said in our podcast with Danny B yesterday, KC might have a little bit of an under the radar edge, a little bit of an under the radar huge edge in special teams, which might come back to which might turn out to be a big factor.
That could be a deciding factor. But, you know, I know one thing Pittsburgh's going to rely on Le'Veon Bell. He is going to pound that rock all day long, and that would be their best game plan. And then just go to Brown when you need to. But I think it's going to be too much, and I think playoff experience on Pittsburgh's end is going to win out. I just still have that Alex Smith syndrome. Once in a while, he can pull a damn a Cutler, or he can pull a, you know, an Osweiler. So we'll see what happens. But it's going to be interesting. It's going to be a great weekend.
Yeah.
I get to kick back. Wife and kids leaving. Oh, that's another story. Last night, getting ready to go to the airport, found out the reservations had been canceled, and they never let us know. There was no reservations last night
for the
Columbia. Had to repurchase tickets. Leaving now, they're leaving today at 2. The $600, $563 deal went out the window. The bank didn't let us know that it's a nightmare.
Did they take your money though? Did they
took the money, and then they supposedly put it back? But Wamma figured it out. The same thing had happened to him. So he got on the phone with my wife, and they're on. She's on the phone with the bank people, but. Unfreaking believable last night, you know.
Oh yeah.
She got stuck for a huge bill. She called. They were trying to charge her $600. No way we can get around it. No way we can get around it. You know, Claudia. 20 minutes on the phone.
Yeah, she wasn't having none of that.
$12.
Yeah. Boom.
Wait, I don't understand. She got stuck for it, but they canceled and didn't pay her back.
They booked her on the wrong flight. She had the receipt in her hand, and they booked her on a flight.
And gave her a hard time with refunding the money. So. But I'll get the rest of it later on. But I am going to be watching these ball games, kick back, just chilling, baby.
That's a nice scam. I'm telling you, if you don't have morals in this world and you are willing to scam people, you can make you can.
Oh, you can. But you know what? If they can sleep at night, good for them.
Yeah,
they can have all that shit. I got a couple buddies that I don't know how they sleep at night.
Oh man, it's just like.
But you know what? We don't have to worry about going there. Bottom line, because we have morals. We're good people, and that's what makes us who we are. So
man,
pay it forward. Baby.
I would have some cash if I could get that scam.
Brought in 50 or 62 more guys last night. Every one of them hit that power play.
Ooh. Another guy going on vacation with the bookies now. We had
Guan, did you
last week in Barcelona?
That's right. Guan, did you play that power pick with OKC last night? I know you did. He sent me a big thumbs up.
Let's get your best bet.
Shout out to Guan White. All right, best bets, college or NBA or what? What do you?
Doesn't matter.
What,
I'm just going to give one pick.
High school football.
Yeah, that'll be kicking up.
Wow. All right. Well, let's see. Best bets. I'm tempted to give the under in the Lakers San Antonio game at 211 to 11.5, just because.
You know, San Antonio's got to buckle down.
Yeah, I'm tempted to do that, and. Well, you think that they? I'm not the greatest handicapper, and Matty guy's sitting here like cracking up.
He's laughing at the comment that came.
Oh, okay, because
he's getting comments and we can't read.
I thought he's like laughing at my handicap. I'm not the greatest handicapper in the world, okay? But you don't have to laugh at my face when I give a pick, all right? Jesus Christ!
Oh, I love your honesty, PD. I
say, I like the Spurs under 211.5. Man, cracking up.
You know what? That thing's cashy too. That thing is cashy.
That just proves it to me. It's gonna.
Damn it, Matty.
Show you.
Yeah. Damn it, Guan. Shout out to Guan White. I love it. We got some great followers, man. Again, right. So power pick today. Do not miss the power pick today.
Don't you hate that when you? It's not when you give a pick and the people don't even call you an idiot. They just start laughing.
Yeah, Matty did laugh.
Laughing in your face at your picks. It's just embarrassing. It's just embarrassing.
He's a Giants fan.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, I would lean Sliza, but okay, fine. If you think it's that bad of a pick, all right, I'll give a different one. It's either going to be. He's laughing again.
I know. He got you.
He's like laughing at my handicap.
We're gonna laugh.
He's like, give another pick, genius.
And it worked.
All right, give another pick, genius. All right, genius here.
Write these down because they're going to catch.
Genius handicapping at work in the moment. Please, a little quiet. All right, it's either going to be Georgia Tech or LMU. I'm fine. You know what?
Go with G Tech.
I will give Georgia because there were a few times it was like when Penn State was a big underdog at Michigan. I was like, why is that line so big? I was like, obviously, there's something I don't know. They covered easily. Illinois against Michigan last night. I was like, why are they home dogs? They covered easily. Not even going to doubt it. Georgia Tech plus 9.5.
My pick of the day: Notre Dame full game to beat Miami, baby.
Nice. That was the very last question we had.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Well, guys, I got to jump in there and do the hockey show. Thanks for joining.